3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
You must gain control.
No kidding. Hey guys, welcome back. Today is Sunday, July 23rd. As you may or may not know, in addition to loving Star Wars, I'm something of a Lord of the Rings fan. I don't collect Lord of the Rings merchandise, but I've read the books and watched the movies enough to be a really big fan. When I heard about the late Christopher Lee passing away a year or two ago, I heard about his tradition of reading the Lord of the Rings through every year. So I decided to pick up on that tradition, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now. And this time, I'm actually going to bring you along on the journey. I'm going to read to you my favorite parts out of the first chapters of each book. People think Lord of the Rings is 3 books. It's not. It's 1 big book. It's 1 large novel divided into 6 separate books, all sort of smushed together. So I'm going to be checking in at each time I either start or finish a book, reading about a paragraph at a time for all of you to enjoy. So here we go. Hopefully I don't lose my voice, but J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship of the Ring, being the first part of The Lord of the Rings. Book 1. Chapter 1. A long-expected party. When Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag End announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11st birthday with a party of special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. Bilbo was very rich and very peculiar and had been the wonder of the Shire for 60 years, ever since his remarkable disappearance and unexpected return. The riches he had brought back from his travels had now become a local legend, and it was popularly believed, whatever the old folk might say, that the hill at Bag End was full of tunnels stuffed with treasure. And if that was not enough for fame, there was also his prolonged vigor to marvel at. Time wore on, but it seemed to have little effect on Mr. Baggins. At 90, he was much the same as at 50. At 99, he began to call himself well-preserved, but unchanged would have been nearer the mark. There were some that shook their heads and thought this was too much of a good thing. It seemed unfair that anyone should possess, apparently, perpetual youth as well as, reputedly, inexhaustible wealth. It will have to be paid for, they said. It isn't natural, and trouble will come of it. Before long, the invitations began pouring out, and the Hobbiton post office was blocked, and the Bywater post office was snowed under, and voluntary assistant postmen were called for. There was a constant stream of them going up the hill, carrying hundreds of polite variations on, "Thank you, I shall certainly come." A notice appeared on the gate at Bag End. No admittance except on party business. Even those who had, or pretended to have party business, were seldom allowed inside. Bilbo was busy, writing invitations, ticking off answers, packing up presents, and making some private preparations of his own. From the time of Gandalf's arrival, he remained hidden from view.
"My dear Bagginses and Boffins," he began again, "and my dear Tooks and Brandybucks, and Grubs and Chubs and Broses and Hornblowers and Bolgers, Brace Cuddles, Good Bodies, Brockhouses and Proudfoots." "Proud feet!" shouted an elderly hobbit from the back of the pavilion. His name, of course, was Proudfoot, and well merited. His feet were large, exceptionally furry, and both were on the
3
table.
purposes. First of all, to tell you that I am immensely fond of you all, and that 11 years is too short a time to live among such excellent and admirable hobbits. Tremendous outburst of approval.
"I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve."
This was unexpected and rather difficult. There was some scattered clapping, but most of them were trying to work it out and see if it came to a compliment.
"Secondly, to celebrate my birthday."
Cheers again.
"I should say our birthday, for it is, of course, also the birthday of my heir and nephew, Frodo. He comes of age and into his inheritance today."
Some perfunctory clapping by the elders, and some loud shouts of,
"Frodo! Frodo! Jolly old Frodo!"
from the juniors. The Sackville Bagginses scowled and wondered what was meant by coming into his inheritance.
"Thirdly and finally," he said, "I wish to make an announcement."
He spoke this last word so loudly and suddenly that everyone sat up who still could.
"I regret to announce that
Though, as I said, 11 years is far too short a time to spend among you, this is the end. I am going. I am leaving now. Goodbye." He stepped down and vanished. There was a blinding flash of light, and the guests all blinked. When they opened their eyes, Bilbo was nowhere to be seen. 144 flabbergasted hobbits sat back speechless. The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow it. Some people, exclaimed Frodo. You mean Otho and Lobelia? How abominable! I would give them Bag End and everything else if I could get Bilbo back and go off tramping into the country with him. I love the Shire, but I begin to wish, somehow, that I had gone too. I wonder if I shall ever see him again. So do I, said Gandalf, and I wonder many other things. Goodbye now. Take care of yourself. Look out for me, especially at unlikely times. Goodbye. Frodo saw him to the door. He gave a final wave of his hand and walked off at a surprising pace. But Frodo thought the old wizard looked unusually bent, almost as if he was carrying a great weight. The evening was closing in, and his cloaked figure quickly vanished into the twilight. Frodo did not see him again for a long time. I'm not going to be reading bits from every single chapter every day. Just when I think about it, I want to keep the pressure off of myself. But I do want to try and read on camera my very favorite parts. And I'm starting today, 23rd of July, and planning on ending on September 22nd, Hobbit Day. So, I will see you guys later. I hope you come along on this journey with me, and indeed with Frodo again. Thank you for watching. If you'd like, go ahead and click the little subscription button below. If not, I still hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off. Bye, guys.